Saturday morning, I can't close the window. Andrew's left his bed out. And he'll be back here tomorrow night, Sunday night. So I can't get to the window to close it. So, more spooky true tales. At the time I was messing around, it was one little fuse I used to use, all the others were in packets. As I said on the last video, last upload, the boss had to gave me fuses and bulbs because it kept blowing. But I was parked in this lay-by one night. I'd had a bit to eat and I was watching my portable telly, and the large van in front, a bloke was on the near side was talking to the driver. I was watching the telly with one eye and this bloke got in the cab. I thought, close the doors. I thought, oh, what's going off there? Well, I had a little pad, you know, them suction pads stuck to the window, a little writing pad with a little pen hanging on one of them curly-whirly plastic wire things. And when the boss used to give me instructions, go to so-and-so steelworks and pick up a load and take it there, you know. And I went to bed and had a good night's sleep. The door was locked, of course, and I woke up next morning, and on that little pad, the 3 letters, S-E-X, sex. Now, who the fuck wrote that? I'm not going to wake up in the night and write that. It weren't my writing. I should have saved that bit of paper. And after what I saw, I just told you, on that little pad was written, I wondered what's going off there, and the word sex, S-E-X. But anyway, I've been through this before. I lived at the mobile home site at Calverton, just outside Nottingham, and a chalet had burnt down, and a middle-aged man got home drunk and left the chip pan on, and he was killed, and his mother was seriously burned, and the chalet burned down completely, and they didn't rebuild on the site. I had a caravan there, and the end of my caravan was warped with the heat from the chalet that had burned down. And Andrew's always been a bit of a skeptic, my son Andrew, where anything like this is concerned. Well, I was working days then, and I went to work, and he used to sleep on the bench seats at the front of the caravan. And as soon as I went to work, he jumped in the double bed. The idle sod lay there till about midday. He had his own car, and he said, that night I got home, he said, I might have to change my opinion, Dad. He says, around about, I went to work quite early, he said around about 11 o'clock, the caravan moved. You know, in a caravan, when people walk, the caravan does tend to move. And he said, I thought you'd come back. And he said, I opened my eyes, and I saw this bloke looking down at me, wearing a t-shirt, but I could only see his top half. And he just vanished. 1 minute he was there, next minute he'd gone. And I just went back to sleep again. So who were that he saw? My neighbour had the same surname as me. The postman kept leaving me his mail, so I went round to see him in the next caravan. I said, postman's left one of your letters again, mate. And I said, have you noticed any spooky happenings here? He says, yes, I have actually. I put it down to my father, who passed away recently. I was asleep one night in the bedroom, he says, and the quilt was whipped off the bed, ended up in the corner of the bedroom in this caravan. And he said he thought, what the hell's going off here? So Andrew got a job. I thought, good, at last. And this particular morning, I think it was a Saturday morning, he got to be down the city centre for 6 o'clock. Was it? Or 6, but anyway, I set my alarm clock for about 5:30, 5:45, and it went off and woke me up, and I lay having a smoke. Andrew was in the front part of the caravan on his, you know, them bench seats with a quilt over him. He says, quick, Dad, it's 5 to 6. I said, it's not, it's 5 to 5. I might not be correct about those exact times, but he said, it's 5 to 6. I said, it's not. My alarm clock and my watch said 5 to 5. And I went in the living area where he was, and the wall clock and the clock on the digital tuner said 5 to 6. I says, well, what's happening? I don't understand. Well, we hadn't got mobile phones then, so he ran up to the reception area where there was a phone box. By the time he got back, he said, it's 5 o'clock. For some reason, the wall clock and the digital tuner clock were advanced forward 1 hour overnight. So in the middle of that following week, I got home and there he sat. Yeah, I took him down the city centre after a bit of breakfast, and off he went to his job. And the middle of the following week I got home, there he sat. I says, and what happened? He says, oh, they're a load of wankers. I packed it in. And I sat thinking, I thought, my God, if something bad happens in here, like it did to my neighbour next door, perhaps he might get scared and move out. And Andy said, Dad, the caravan's moving from side to side. He got quite panicky. He says, it's moving. I said, it's not. And I sat there and he got quite alarmed. And I thought to myself, no, I can't allow this to happen. And it stopped. And I've asked him about this recently. And he says, well, the caravan was moving like from side to side, and it wasn't. Something was reading my mind. As soon as I thought, no, I can't allow this to happen, it stopped. And lots of other strange things happened in there. And I wrote to the church. I wrote to a medium, I think, and asked, and the medium said, this energy force, get 4 pieces of gypsum rock and put them in all 4 corners of your caravan, and it will divert the energy. And in the end, I moved out. But I did say earlier, that's right, while I lived there, my family used to like to come over because there were lakes there with ducks and little ducklings, and the coots had got all little babies, and the kids loved it. Let's go over and see Grandad. And my ex-wife were there this particular morning, and I went up to reception to pay my rent, and I mentioned it to the woman at the reception area, and another lady there said, absolute rubbish. There's nothing like that goes off here. I've lived on this site for so many years, and you know, it's absolute rubbish. So I says, yeah, fair enough, if that's what you think. And I got back to the caravan, and my ex-wife had sat near the door. She got the door open, and she was smoking and flicking her ash outside the door. And she was white-faced, and the others in there, I don't think Andrew were there, her second son Richie, and she said it was that morning the rain was drizzling and there were no wind. She says all of a sudden the caravan door just banged to as though somebody had walked past and slammed it to. She says, what's going off? I says, I don't know. My hand's shaking. Let me see if I can hold the camera steady. And then another time they all came over, and her second son Richie saw the tea caddy. As we were all talking, he saw it slide on the worktop, and it dropped on the floor, scattering tea bags everywhere. He says, I watched it, I saw it slide. That caravan was haunted, and I'm going to stop because my hand's aching. So with the beautiful music of Liquid Mind, and that's it, I'm going to have to go.